Album covers. Today we're looking at my album covers through the years. This is my 6th studio album. My first album with Epic Records was called Hunter. My album shoot was with an amazing, very famous photographer named Robert Ascroft. My art director, Maria Marulanda. She does album artwork and art design for Shakira and Sierra, and we shot in Brooklyn all day for 2 days, and I did all these different looks. The stylist, her name was Taryn, brought all these hats in, brought this amazing, dainty, beautiful jewelry, and the look that ended up being the album cover is this beautiful, structural black suit blazer with nothing else underneath it. A few months later, we pulled the album off, added 4 songs, added Call My Name by Prince, and re-released the album as an extended version. We had done this entire other setup on a stool with me being more playful. I remember, like, I'm not wearing pants, I'm just wearing a bodysuit. And on the back of the album, there was an option where I'm sitting on the stool with a hat, and when I went in to look at all of the art laid out, Ted went with me, my manager Ted went with me, and they had airbrushed out my bones. And I remember going, where are my ankles? Like, where are my bones? It looks like I have 2 pieces of fish as feet, or like a loaf of bread. So yeah, the cover with the black jacket is out of print, and they discontinued it, so it's a collector's item, I guess, or a great coaster. You know, in between my studio albums, I had a bunch of other albums come out. YouTube Sessions, that photo was shot on a rooftop in Berlin by my friend Brave Araya, who was on tour with PMJ. I have various Christmas covers, like my cover for last December was shot by Carlo Pieroni, amazing Italian photographer. That was a shoot that I did with Kristen Chenoweth. We shot at the United Palace. I was wearing Christian Siriano. So my second studio album is called Reckless Abandon. I met this photographer named Akshay Bone. That was the first record that I made that was independently released, and I couldn't afford the shoot that I had when I was at Epic Records. My designer friend Mimi Prober loaned me these incredible, beautiful textiles to wear in the shoot. And one of the things that she had on me was this beautiful beaded collar that she fashioned from a bunch of antique lace and antique beads. We shot in a beautiful townhouse on the Upper East Side, and we just did a different look in each room, and I really wanted something kind of bold. So what ended up being the cover was this picture of just my face. My designer, Celine, this French art designer, decided to like make my eyes turquoise on the cover. My Blue album, I covered Joni Mitchell's Blue. For the cover of that, it was one of the photos from my shoot with Akshay for Reckless Abandon that was shot on film. We gave it this blue treatment, and it really looked like Joni's cover, so we used that photo. For the White album, I shot in Malibu with my friend Kathleen Gale Hennessy. I had no hair and makeup, we had no crew. The 2 of us went alone to Malibu like early in the morning to get the beautiful morning light, and we just shot by the ocean. So when I went down to Memphis to make my Memphis Magnetic album, we were making a record live to analog tape, and I was like, I want to dress like the music sounds. So I decided I was going to wear vintage every single day. I invited my friend Jenny Anderson. She agreed to come down to the studio. We just pretended she wasn't there, and she shot all week long. And then we needed an album shoot, and we didn't have, you guessed it, any time or money. We had 1 key light, and I had enlisted like an intern who was still in school to do my hair and makeup, and I had all these vintage dresses. And we moved amps around and couches around, and I climbed up on the piano. Jenny just got these incredible, absolutely exactly what I wanted. On the inside gatefold of the vinyl, there's a picture of me and my little baby girl Eunice in the control room. The dogs were there with Doug. The door got ajar, and she wanted to come see me. She ran all the way down the stairs, jumped up on the couch, and looked up at me. And so the shot that you see wasn't posed at all. It was just so sweet. My Blue Christmas cover, that was shot upstate by Jenny Anderson. She came and shot a bunch of beautiful photos of us in the woods, 70s prairie woman vibe, cottagecore. For my Christmas album, we went to Memphis yet again to shoot in Memphis Magnetic, and I had the brilliant / psychopathic idea of filming the entire making of the album. My best friend, Richard Emilius, came down. We transformed the studio into a soundstage, like a Christmas soundstage, and it was the middle of summer. We had a little studio audience. It was essentially a live album that we filmed and made a record at the same time. I would never do that. But it was a challenge, and I love a challenge. And so for the album cover, my friend John Blousy came down. I had a vintage 1960s gold Jessica Rabbit dress. We went into the hallway, shot right there. Nobody's Fool, I shot with Shervin Layanis, who shoots all the most amazing female rock and roll and music stars, and every time I get to shoot with him, I'm so honored. I got this stylist that Shervin had recommended. Her name's Faye. I wanted that 90s TLC meets Janet Jackson, and she just completely knocked it out of the park. And Shervin's so interesting because he works with one light. The photo that made the cover, and I knew it was going to be the cover photo the second I took it, is a really bold photo where I'm just straight ahead on a white background in this black jumpsuit with a bow tie. It has attitude. It feels very Fosse to me. One of the shots that is on the back, that is the dress I was wearing when I sang with Shaka Khan. It's cotton, and it's got ostrich feathers, so it's painful to wear. And so when the Armani party came about, I was like, I should wear something one of a kind. All of those iconic albums from the 90s have handwriting on them, so I actually wrote out every single thing, so all of the handwriting on Nobody's Fool art is my real handwriting. Now I have my 6th studio album. I shot photos with Grace Stockdale in Los Angeles. I wanted the art to feel like a Calvin Klein ad, and I've also been working with an amazing tattoo artist because I think that this album, it blends rock and roll with soul, and it blends classic elements. I wanted people to look at the merch and think, oh, all American. So here it is, the album cover of my 6th studio album, Soul Remains the Same. All right, I think that's a wrap, kids.